Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite podcast show. Mark and Ken with you on episode 167 of the Shite podcast show. Ken, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
Interesting bunch of stories we have for our listeners this week.
Yeah.
You imagine like post US election that there be a lot of stories about the US election.
Yeah, well
we've done
I actively try to keep away from it.
Yeah, as did I, and we've done pretty well. We've managed to put together a show where there pretty much isn't any US election talk in it. There might be on the Idiot of the Week for very obvious reasons. We talked about it in the media all over the last few days, and since we have a segment called that, like what happened during the week, it can't pass an Idiot Week. And generally, because Donald Trump is such a polarized figure and he's in the media so much and he's a politician, we try to stay away from politics. So like he has to do something horrendously dumb before he makes it into Idiots of the Week. Because either that or there will be most weeks where we could be able to look at stuff that he did and go, yeah, that should be on it. So like he had to do something really, really stupid in order.
Have we had him on it yet?
He might have been for the drinking
Oh yeah,
bleach.
the bleach thing.
Yeah, I think he got on it for that, and
he got an honourable mention.
Yeah, so like he has to do something that dumb in order to. That's the level. Since then, we haven't had him. He hadn't featured on Idiots of the Week.
Yeah.
So we try to stick away from him. So he's done something dumb enough to get on Idiots of the Week. And we'll be talking about that. Yeah, we also have a very interesting story about a girl who is too hot for Tinder. I know when I was on the app, that's how I felt about myself as well. We'll compare notes and see how our experience may have different. We'll be talking about the man who invented body armor. This is one, Ken, that we both came up with. We both thought it was and it's something that we don't really talk about is inventions. But I don't know about you. I spend large parts of my day thinking about, I wonder how this was invented or how people came up with the idea of really everyday things. So this is a really cool story.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say I spend a lot of time thinking about it.
You've less time on your hands though.
Like stuff like that how it's made and stuff show. Like sometimes I'd watch that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'd watch that as well. I watched it too much and I had to I turned myself off watching it. It doesn't give me like how it was invented. It just shows you how it's made. Or I'm more into the idea, like how did the person come up with the idea? As part, because I'm a bit of an ideas guy. I've came up with a load of innovative things that will never go to market because although I have a beautiful mind, I have very little ambition. And none of my inventions I ever go, do you know what? I wonder, because this just seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
I could be Elon Musk, but there's no ambition. It's like, oh, I have so many ideas, just I couldn't be arsed.
Couldn't be bothered.
Couldn't be bothered. Imagine Elon Musk. I have this idea of going to Mars. I think maybe I could make tunnels and make trains under tunnels, and I have this electric car idea, but fuck it. I want to see what's on Netflix. I'd love to see it like a TV show, like an inventor like that.
I'd love to see a TV show about basically just like you.
I'd love if cameras followed you around.
Yeah, like just what goes on with Mark day to day.
Do you know what? That sounds like a compliment on paper, but really it's an insult. It's like you complex me your stupidity. I want to figure out what everyday life is like about you. Talking about idiots and complexities, we have Idiots of the Week. We aforementioned one person that's going to be on it, but we also have a man and a dog featuring on it. And yeah, we've had animals and people on this before, and this is worthy mention. So that's basically our show. We'll also be talking about McDonald's Christmas menu. Netflix having a TV show, a TV channel, not even a show.
Yeah.
So a lot coming up on the show today. We've jam-packed as usual. We must get into it because we were going to try to stick to the hour mark. I think it's nice. People only have an attention span of 1 hour, and that's all every podcaster knows. That's why all the podcasts are an hour, and not any longer than that is insane. And no one listens to the end of your podcast; they're already asleep.
Have you ever made it through a Joe Rogan podcast?
No, I've never. I think I purposely sat down and watched the Elon Musk one through. And I think I might have watched that live, but every single other one of his podcasts, I have always had to break it down in segments, or like I've fallen asleep. I will listen to podcasts in the car and then listen to it when I'm going to sleep. So you generally just fall asleep and go, oh yeah, I was really listening to that Miley Cyrus one. And then I click back onto it, fast forward to where I think I fell asleep at, and maybe make it through 20 more minutes of it. And then like try to get to the end of it. But yeah, very few of them I listen to it full. Like it's too hard.
Yeah, like the only one I watched fully through was the James Hetfield one.
Yeah, oh yeah, I might have listened to that one through as well. Or at least I probably listened to 3 or 4 times and then fast forward to where I fell asleep at. But yeah, the bee thing was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a really good podcast of like this get James Hetfield. I do like it when he has musicians on it. As we said, I also thought the Black Keys one was really good as well.
Which one?
Black Keys.
Oh yeah.
They were talking about the industry and all that other shit. It's just a fucking dark, snaky fucking industry.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, what can be dark and snaky is online dating, Ken.
Online dating.
And that's what our first story is about. Online dating's probably missed you. You were a teenage sweetheart who got married.
Well, not teenager. I was like in my 20s.
Okay. Oh, yeah, but you're pretty young, and I think like if you go back to when we were like in our 20s, there were a few people on online dating. You probably knew 1 or 2 people, but it wasn't widespread as it is now, or widely accepted as it is now.
I don't think it was even a thing. Like, I don't think online dating was a thing when I was like in my early 20s anyway.
Yeah, like I think it was when I was in my early 20s. It was a thing. I did know people on it. I even went on a few dates on dates when I was, I think, 21-ish. So it was a thing, but like obviously it was kind of very much like, let's not speak about how we met each other. Yeah, so you get like kind of this, like you be in a pub with a girl and you be like on a date and people like, you get talking to other people around the table and they'll be like, oh, so how did you meet? And you're like, oh, online. They're like, oh, what do you mean online? And they wouldn't get it like it was a dating app. You're like, oh, just go past Facebook. If you get to Amazon, you've went too far, you have to turn around and come back down. It's like it was very much thing. And you think like one of the preconceptions is that attractive people aren't on dating apps. Surely beautiful people can find love easily. And this is probably one of the biggest reasons why this model probably came into such difficulty with her experiences on online dating, because she felt that she was too hot, Ken, for Tinder. And that Tinder was deleting her profile because she was too beautiful and too popular. Personally, as a person who was on Tinder, I also felt that I was too beautiful for Tinder and that I had no reason to be on it as well. So, like, I feel her pain.
And have you seen this woman?
She is quite good looking now. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask you. Like, usually they're like bet, and it's an excuse.
No. She is very, very good looking. She does look like a catfish, though. She does look like if she popped up on her, she's in Swedish model. All of her pictures are of professional photographer of her posing. So that could be another reason why people are flagging her for it being catfished. because like what you're looking for is photos of shaky hand doing a selfie, or like a photo that they clearly screenshot and it's very, very much pixelated. It's like that's what our Tinder pictures are. They're not these glamorous model artistic photo shoots. So the type of photos that she was probably putting up probably just looked like a walking catfish.
Yeah, more than likely.
So her name is Laura anyway, and she signed up to the app in 2017 with hopes of finding love. And within moments of signing up to the app, she found hundreds of matches every month. Men were going wild for her, basically. They were offering her gifts, holidays, money, as well as marriage proposals, Ken. So much like my experience as well.
Well, you had men giving you gifts and holidays.
Yeah, expensive jewelry. It's very, very glamorous. But like, despite all her success and her popularity of her online dating career to start, she only basically went on a date with only a couple of guys. So like, if you are, I guess, on Tinder right now, and I think this is a common experience that everybody faces. So it's quite nice to know that even models go through this as well, where you match with so many people, but you actually only go on a date with like 0.5% of a fraction of your matches. So that's quite nice to notice that you're not the only one going through that. That like a model that's been deleted off it for being a catfish is also going through that as well.
Like, was it that she didn't have matches, or she just didn't go on dates?
No, she had hundreds of matches. It's either guys who were just being probably creepy to her online, sending her dick pics, asking to have sex with them and their girlfriend, that kind of thing. This is the kind of experiences that girls and lads have very, very different experiences online, and generally a large body of messages that girls get are guys asking them, do they want to see their dick or have sex with them and their girlfriend. That's just life for girls on dating apps, Ken. Men don't have that.
That sounds like it's coming from experience, Mark.
It's from people I talk to.
Oh, it's from people you talk to on dating.
Yeah, people on dating apps. So what's your experience like? Do you ever get dick pics? Basically, one of the dates, like, this is how weird few of the guys are. So one of the guys, the lucky guys, I should say, that managed to get on a date with lovely Laura, his opening line was, "My princess," which he said made the rest of the day very, very uncomfortable. So just word of advice, any guys listening out there that might be going on Tinder dates in the near future, don't open line, "My princess."
Yeah, try and avoid that, maybe.
Because that didn't go. That then went down like the Berlin, that balloon thing, was it?
I can't remember. Whatever.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, the lead thing.
Yeah.
Lead balloon. We should just stick it with lead balloon. Yeah, but like, basically all of her fun came to an end when she was basically kicked off it all of a sudden without warning of the app. And she basically didn't know why, so she created it, and her pictures kept getting flagged as people were taking her profile photos or photos that she had on her Instagram and using them to make Tinder and other dating app profiles themselves and catfishing lads in order to get money out of them. I don't know how she didn't explain how she knows that they were making money off her image. But
she probably was too.
Yeah, so obviously the guys who were offering her marriage proposals, holidays, seen her on different apps, and when the fake her was accepting the marriage proposals and money and expensive gifts, they're obviously making money that way off her. And this basically led to people threatening her on dating app when she actually managed to not get kicked off by Tinder herself. And she says that it's all down to her being too good looking and people trying to steal her image to make money. Like, it did come to a happy ending. Like, it was like, that is horrendous. Like lads were just messing her, threatening her, thinking she was a catfish.
Yeah.
Like, this happens to celebrities as well. There's a lot of celebrities that have been on various different, and you often hear them on the radio, or they might pop up on a newsfeed article where they're talking about them being on dating sites and like they're looking to find somebody, And then they get flagged for being a fake account because obviously they're well known, and everyone knows good looking and well known people don't need to find love. They have it just thrown at them. Yeah, it's just like she was one of these like very, very good looking people like myself that had to go on a dating app but was getting flagged on fake accounts. I also used the dating app as podcast publicity as well, Ken.
As popular podcast publicity.
Yes, I had on my profile about the podcast a classic case of double marketing right there. And I noticed, because I was tracking while I was on it, we actually did see we've seen a slight increase in viewers over the months that I was on it, and it slightly dipped when I deleted the profile.
Was that recently?
It was recently enough, yeah.
Jesus.
So there you go. It was
There you go.
beautiful. Any podcasters out there, download the dating app and just put on your podcast, all about your podcast on it, and there you go. Beautiful bit of double marketing. Your girlfriend and her wife mightn't be too happy you're doing it. Once they're okay with it, yeah, you should be fine to go.
Yeah, sorted.
Yeah, but anyway, it all worked out well for Laura in the end. She did find an ad on Tinder, and yeah, I think they're happy.
Ah, well, there you go.
Yeah, so that was nice. Well done for her. And
so she was too attractive for Tinder, but she met her boyfriend on Tinder.
Yeah, it's just what we got out of. She was way too good looking for Tinder, which is like, trust me, when you're on that app, when you're downloading it, you also feel that about yourself. No matter what you look like, you're like, I'm just too good for Tinder. I have no right being on this app. And then you find people and you delete it, and then you're back on it several months later.
Here we go again.
Gets easier with every time. But on to probably a completely different story. One that's we both found ourselves. And it's one of these things I never really thought of, like, oh, I wonder how that was invented. But I definitely wouldn't have thought that it was invented by a pizza delivery man.
Yeah, this one shocked me a little bit.
Yeah, and this is around the inventor who invented body armor. Now, this isn't body armor's been around since like World War One, and probably like even going back, like pretty much any time there's been war, there's been some form of body armor. There's been some kind of steel chaining or metal plating. Like, it's kind of common sense that if you're playing with pointy, sticky things and people are trying to stab you with them, probably cover up.
Yeah, like common sense.
Common sense. And lucky enough, human beings have common sense. But like this guy invented, what's that thing that's 4 times stronger than steel?
Kevlar.
Kevlar body armor suit. And what made it really, really good was it could be hidden under clothes. So previous to this, all of them would be too bulky and would stick out over your uniform, and people know you're wearing a bulletproof vest and they just shoot you in the head. So yeah, Richard Davids is your man who invented this, and he previously to opening up his pizza place in Detroit, he worked as a Marine. So you imagine a guy who like invented like some form of bulletproof vest. It's kind of ironic that he was in the army and never came up with this idea. Opens a small pizza place in Detroit, feels the need to have to create a bulletproof vest that could be hidden under clothes.
I suppose when he was in the military, he probably didn't need it. It was probably like, his armor would have been provided to him.
That's a very, very good point. Yeah, like in terms of like stuff like this, I always wonder about this. I've like I said at the start of the podcast, I've way too much time in my hands. Like I'm always fascinated about how people come up with and the ideas of how the story behind the idea is something I think is like fascinating. Like here's one that I've heard before, and and I don't know if it's true, and I didn't bother to research it if it is or not. But I thought if it is true, it's a fucking brilliant story. You know those stick of sugars that you find in coffee shops?
Yeah.
Apparently, the person who invented them originally wanted the full thing filled to the brim with sugar, so it would be a stick, Like, it'd be hard, and that you'd be able to break it and pour it in evenly into your coffee or tea. But obviously, manufacturers got a bit greedy and didn't fill them up to the top. So now you have to tear the tops off and pour them in.
Those bastards.
Yeah, apparently he did kill himself, but it wasn't over that.
Oh, it could have been.
Could have been. Yeah, he's just so frustrated with the world. Why did they ever ruin my ideas? So like,
They ruined my invention.
Yeah, like, so stories like that, I'm always really, really fascinated. And yeah, like I said, I have a beautiful mind. I've come up with like the puke bucket. I've come up with like dropping people out midair of airplanes, in order instead of landing the plane on the ground. Like we've went through my ideas before. Central locking for your house, another brilliant idea. Pretty much Elon Musk with a very little ambition. And
yeah, pretty much.
Virtually identical. Richard Davids is kind of like me, but he has a little bit more ambition. And he, after being in the military, opened his own small pizza place. And then one night he basically got a call to an alleyway for a pizza where he was robbed by two men. So then I think it was like two weeks later, he got a similar call to the same address, and he kind of figured that was the two guys again, like calling to him. So this time he bought a 22 revolver and hid it under a pizza box. The idea of, oh, if I get jumped once again, at least I have a weapon and I can protect myself. And here's the thing where I differ on him, and it's like take it. This is a very, very American mindset to have, which is like, personally, if I got a phone call where I was held at gunpoint and I was robbed, and I got it to the same address where I had an idea that there was this two guys behind it, I just wouldn't go. I wouldn't go to there, and I just ignore the number. I just go on about my day, and that would be that. But he brings a gun and wants to confront the guys. Obviously, was a bit grieved with what happened to him before. So he got there, surprise, surprise, it was the same guys, and he tried to do the same thing that they did before, rob him at gunpoint, but this time he pulls out his gun, and a firefight breaks out. He gets shot in the back of the leg, and one of the bullets also grazed the top of his temple, so he was very close to actually being killed. He managed to fire off 4 shots, and 2 of the guys were wounded in the gunfight. He hurt himself.
This is like one of the most American stories ever.
Yeah, like in fairness, this is where like any gun out for this is say like, yeah, see, a good guy with a gun always beats bad guys with a gun, and you're like, he nearly died. And then after his pizza place was burnt down, so like it wasn't a great idea, and he was left with only $70 to his name.
Yeah.
After all that, he was only left with $70. After he lost his business and he was recovering, that's where he had the idea of the new form of the vest. He obviously heard about this new fabric called Kevlar that's 4 times tougher than steel, and managed to make a vest out of it, and with the idea of like wanting to sell it to police stations around America and possibly for civilians who deliver pizza. Because those two groups of people definitely get shot way too much, and no police officers were interested in this vest. Because when you look at it, and obviously we now know how good Kevlar is for preventing bullets and how strong it is, and it's used in a lot of like combat gear now. But in the 70s. No one knew it was, and it looked like a flimsy vest. Like, if you were looking at this after never seeing anything like this before, you'd be kind of going, that's not going to stop a bully, you fucking idiot. Get out of here. Like, it didn't look durable at all. It looked like he'd fashioned it out of a pillow. Yeah.
Did you see how he convinced people about it?
Yeah, so that's why I was just about to talk about. So he had to figure out a way of convincing that this fucking thing really works, and he couldn't pay somebody to shoot him because that would be illegal, and he couldn't get cops to shoot him because once again that would be illegal, and the cops could get criminal prosecutions. So he had to shoot himself. So he had to point a gun pretty much at point blank range and shoot himself in the chest. Now, he said it would probably break a rib or cause like a slight cut, but like you just got shot. This is very minor stuff. If you were a cop or if you're a pizza delivery person, it's better.
Delivery person.
It'd be better, yeah, because these are clearly the two groups of people that need them the most. Like it's better than being actual shot without it. So he said the first time he was just to prove it, and he went on basically a tour around America, shooting himself in the chest, and he shot himself about 190 times. And he said the first time was science, the rest of the times was just like show business.
First time, imagine that first time you'd be like, I hope fuck this.
Oh
works.
yeah, like that first time's a scary. Like, because every other time you feel like, oh yeah, well this is work, I've done it enough. Like, I think for the first 10 times you must be kind of be like, oh the god. Now he did shoot fruit and other things behind it, like probably pig skin as well. Put the vest over and shoot with a shotgun, just to show everybody, like, look at I shot with a shotgun, I shot with all these things, and none of the bullets or pellets penetrated the material. But obviously it wasn't good enough for them, and they wanted to see a person shoot himself at point blank range in order to prove it. Like, either that or else he's dead. At least he won't call back again.
He won't be back.
Yeah. We only have to pull with this guy at least once. Either he has a remarkable product that we need to buy, or he'll be dead.
Yeah, or he just shot himself spectacularly for our entertainment.
So yeah, and that's basically how a lot of the cops in America have used these Teflon kind of bulletproof vests. Now, I think they have went back to using metal in their plates again because of like automatic rifles. So the old ones used to have metal. I mean, it used to be metal plated, and then obviously Teflon is stronger than steel, so it would make more sense. But I think nowadays they still a lot of vests have like metal plates.
Yeah, I suppose it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you have like armor piercing bullets. So are armor piercing bullets? I don't know. You might know this. Are they legal in America?
I don't think so.
Yeah, like imagine you wouldn't want that. Like that's something that you don't need to protect your house, but like bullet piercing armor bullets. Like,
yeah, I don't think they're legal.
Yeah, but obviously they find themselves on the.
Oh wait, yeah, no, they are.
All right. Good luck with that, America.
Well, you do need a license though.
Oh, okay, because it's a special license. All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Still, surely that makes it fairly easy to get.
Yeah, you imagine
You
like
could just rob a gun store.
I don't know how much gun stores get robbed. Again.
Yeah, but you know, like when it's closed, obviously.
Yeah, okay, obviously, yeah, that makes more sense.
Robbing a gun store when it's open, you're going to get shot.
Those people who own that gun store are waiting for the day someone walks in and tries to rob them. Like, that's their wet dream. They're like, oh my god. Yeah. It's just like, that's like, they sit there in that store fantasizing about they're whipping out their 6-shooter, shooting them with one hand and walking off, go, have a nice day. They have their one-liner down. Yeah. Really on the good stories that really, you're dumb. you would probably feature on Idiots of the Week. The week after you get shot dead.
Yeah.
We'd be talking about you on our podcast.
There's no probably about it, definitely. You try to rob a gun store, you're on the podcast.
You will
and
make
dead.
Yeah, and yeah, we should also point out that you'd also be dead. Yeah, those two things are definitely going to happen. But yeah, so I thought that was a really cool story. And yeah, we should probably find more stories where we show off people who invented things, because it is fucking, like, I'd spend all day thinking about how people invented things.
Like what other things do you be thinking about people inventing?
I think the dishwasher was invented by a woman because her cleaners kept chipping all her Delf. So she came up with that idea to stop Delf being chipped. When now people overload their dishwashers, and it all the Delf hit off each other and chip. That's another thing that I thought was it's quite cool. Or who invented like the petrol? I know we know who invented the like petrol engine, but that combustion engine. How the fuck? How pistons actually work? How did someone come up with that idea? Like, I know how engine works, but my God, I don't know how a person who never heard of a combustion engine figured out that. Like, that just blows my fucking mind. Like, I learned about in school how combustion engine works, but I can't figure it out. I was like, how without any idea of how a combustion engine works, did you figure that out? How boring.
Usually it's by accident.
You don't invent like a combustion engine by accident.
Like, most things.
I'm trying to invent a toaster. Oh, cool!
Yeah,
That's a nice toaster.
Like, the vast majority of things that have been invented have been an accident.
Yeah, that is actually true enough. I wonder if Netflix was created by an accident. I think that used to be Blockbusters.
Yeah, Netflix used to be to write to them, and they used to send you like video.
Yeah, that's the thing, and they must have got robbed a lot. I imagine like nobody sent those DVDs back or videos.
Oh, like definitely, like that's why it used to be so expensive to rent videos and stuff.
Yeah, because they knew it was going to be robbed. There's like 100 that there's a 20% chance that DVD video VHS thing is not coming back to us.
Yeah, and then like you can kind of offset it. I knew a guy who worked in an Extra Vision, and he said something like 20% of stock gets like robbed, doesn't get returned. So you charge everybody slightly extra. So the other 80% that have actually paid for this stuff and returned it offset the loss that the 20% of people rob.
That's a solid enough business idea. Well,
Yeah.
also, the thing is, I know with Extravision here, it was just like everyone, like a good 30% of people would bring back the DVDs late.
Like, you see, I don't think they did themselves favors by charging a late fee either.
Yeah. Well, they made money off it. Like, people would bring back late, pay the late fee, and then rent something else again, and then probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you are going to return it, but it's going to be like 2 years later, you've watched it 100 times, or like you've given it to your friends and all, and then like they wouldn't make money because you'd rent a DVD, hang on to it, pass it around your friends, they'd rent a DVD, pass it on to you, and then like whenever everyone is bored with it, it's just got back destroyed and not being able to be used again.
Yeah, it's just in a jock.
Yeah, like that would happen. But one thing I was surprised to hear that you were saying that they're going to create their own TV channel. Now,
yeah,
streaming sites are the reason why I don't watch TV anymore. So it kind of seems odd to me that Netflix would go down this avenue.
Logic behind it is, I know it definitely happens to me. I'd say it happens to you too. You decide, I want to watch a movie or I want to watch a TV thing or whatever, and you like sit down and you go, what am I going to watch? And you spend the next 17 years scrolling through Netflix, and then you don't have time to watch anything.
I don't know if I'd spend 17 years. I've had watched it through. See, I have an extremely bad attention span, so I'll watch like 20 minutes of a program and then leave it. So generally what I do is, you know that a continue watching feature on Netflix?
Yeah.
I'll scroll through that, see if there's something I want to actually continue watching, and then I'll go down, like, unless I feel like I want to watch a movie or something like that. And if I can't see it, I'd probably just go, not gonna watch TV.
Yeah, see, like I'll scroll through Netflix for fucking ages and then be like, don't want to watch something, or I don't know what I want to watch, or whatever.
Yeah, you always feel if you keep on scrolling, you'll find that gem. You don't know what you're looking for, but it's there somewhere, and you feel like
you're gonna find it.
Yeah, you are gonna find it. Yeah, don't worry, I have definitely been that person as well. I think everyone has as well.
That's what their idea for the TV channel is, that it will take away that problem. So it'll be like a subscription to get it to work. So like it's kind of like an added Netflix feature. They're trialing it in France.
Yeah.
Then it just like broadcasts Netflix shows in an order that like a TV channel would do it. So rather than you going, oh fuck, I don't know what I want to watch on Netflix, Netflix got you covered, and they're going, here, watch this.
So Netflix are saying you're too dumb to figure out what to watch. So we're gonna tell you what we're gonna do it for you based on the popularity of shows in France, because they already know which shows are popular, like in Ireland and all of that. So they're probably going to use that analytics and watch. Okay, so those programs are going on prime time, and we're going to show that series every Monday at 9 a.m. or not 9 p.m. because we know people will sit down and watch it as long as they have Netflix. What will happen was, if you get into a really good TV series or a Netflix series, you're not going to wait a week to watch it. You're going to go, oh, that was good. Let's fire up the actual Netflix and let's watch that show. So it might be a good way of like discovering series, is that like maybe if you're on Netflix, you'd see it, but you might go past it.
Yeah, like it probably is a good idea.
I don't know, like, because once again, I don't think I'd pay for TV subscription anymore. Like I think I'll only ever pay for a streaming subscription, because it's kind of like 60 quid or 40 something quid if you include it with like a package deal, like with internet or stuff like that, or whatever their sister companies are offering as well. So like it's a very, very big bill, especially if you want sports and stuff like that. Whereas I'm not into football. Okay, I watch a bit of rugby every now and again. For what I actually like, I can get pretty much everything I want on streaming sites for possibly just, if you add them all up, 30 something quid a month. And like, it would make sense. So the idea that like Netflix will go, it's kind of like Tesla bringing out a diesel powered car. It seems like a step backwards.
Well, like it obviously will work. It'll get more people watching random shit, like.
Yeah, like I don't understand, because we've all been on days where it's like a Sunday, or like you're not doing anything and you just sit down and you watch shite. You watch like People Lost at Sea, and you just watch that, or airport security programs, or Gold Rush. Like, I don't think American Chopper would be as popular now unless it came out on Netflix. You imagine it being popular on Netflix, but like if it came out on Discovery now, I don't think people would watch it, because that was a classic show where you wouldn't follow the series, you wouldn't wait for the episode to come out, but it'd be just constantly on, and anytime you didn't know what to watch, that would be your default.
Yeah, like there's Miami Ink and stuff were another one. Like that was stuff that like you wouldn't really wait for.
They come out, no, but it would just be on all the time, and you just see the episode 10 times, you'd continue to watch it.
Yeah, like I think that's maybe what they're aiming for, obviously, to kind of. They're probably trying to branch into like an older audience as well. Like older people wouldn't be able to fucking understand what the fuck's going on with Netflix.
But yeah, I don't know. I know a few people who have recently discovered Netflix who are in their 60s, and I know like my parents who are not in their 60s but only in their like 50s. They figure out. My mom wouldn't be that like technical when it comes to TVs, and she gets through. She knows how to work it. So I imagine once there's a young person there to show them how to work it, at first they pick it up fairly. They might be able to search too hard, or like they'll know like, oh, how do you get back onto that series that I was watching, but they probably wouldn't know how to find a series to watch, they probably would have to call somebody in.
Yeah, I think that's probably where Netflix are thinking, you know what we'll do? We'll try a TV channel.
Yeah, it'd be very, very interesting to see if this kicks off. One of the annoying things that I've noticed that Netflix do is instead of giving you the full series of things, what they've started to do is only give you half series things. I don't know if this is due to the coronavirus and possibly fearing that they might have a lack of content coming out in the next few months, that they slow down their content. But like, there's a few series where, like, I remember there's one about like martial arts that I wanted to watch, and now there's one that looks like it was about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is like I don't care about Thai boxing. I watched half that one, and there's one about boxing. It's like all I want to see is the Jiu-Jitsu one and see if it's any good, and then let me go. But they didn't release that one yet, and they've only released this five episodes of the series. So you're like, and it's been out months, and I'm like, give me the Jiu-Jitsu one and let me go on with my life.
See, maybe they were recording it during, when the world felt as shit, basically.
Yeah, I imagine that like they would have, before any of it comes out, that they would have had it covered, because they had clips of the Jiu-Jitsu, so they showed like what the series is going to show to kind of entice you to watch it through. And that's where I seen like it's either possibly judo or jiu-jitsu. They were in gis, and I was like, I want to see that episode. And same with Peaky Blinders. That's another one where they've only showed a certain series, amount of episodes of series 5 of Peaky Blinders.
You see, Peaky Blinders that's a unique one because Netflix have a joint production with, is it BBC?
Yeah, I think it's BBC. Yeah,
and I think BBC have exclusive like streaming rights and stuff, so they have to wait for them to
give the
so they have to okay before it can go on Netflix.
Yeah, but they've only given them a few. Usually they give the whole series. So it'd be very weird that BBC says, nope, you only get these many episodes. And
I wonder how many. I wonder is the whole thing on the BBC player?
You have to be a UK citizen. I know you could do one of those RSVPN things where hide your address, but you have to. If you're an Irish citizen, they go, you're not allowed to watch this because you're not British. And you're like, thank fuck I'm not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They're cool. They're nice people. I've nothing against them. I've tried to watch Top Gear stuff before, and that's what popped up.
What, that you're not British?
Yeah, you're no. It's not in your area. Like, you can't watch this because you're outside the whatever thing. I was like, good. Good that you know that. An idea to keep an eye on and see what it looks like and if it actually gets spread around the rest of the world. Kind of like the McDonald's Christmas menu has this year, Ken.
Oh, there's the segue.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so McDonald's have they've launched their Christmas menu. Don't know when it's actually been properly launched. They've announced their Christmas menu. So it's going to be, usually, as far as I can make out, it's only in America.
Yeah, this is the usual shit.
Yeah, so they're going to launch it in the UK, and I'm hoping it'll make its way here. So the Christmas menu doesn't actually contain very much Christmassy stuff.
So yeah, what's in the Christmas? Because you didn't go through in a whole lot of detail.
Yeah, like you'd imagine that the Christmas menu would be like, turkey and maybe ham or whatever, cranberry sauce and stuff. But instead, the Christmas menu, it has 4. So there's a Jamaican jerk chicken burger, and I don't know what makes that Christmas.
Yeah, like I don't understand if they brought out this burger like any other time of the year.
Yeah, like so there's that. There's a salted caramel latte.
Oh.
Again,
caramel.
Don't know what makes it Christmas.
No, nothing about that is Christmas, but does sound delicious.
The only one, like one that you could say is maybe Christmas, is a Celebrations McFlurry.
Yeah, that'd be Christmas. Yeah, maybe what they're thinking is no blue-blooded American or no Christian person is realistically going to go to McDonald's at Christmas, but there's plenty of other religions out there that don't celebrate Christmas, or around this time it isn't that big of a deal for them. So instead of actually bringing out a Christmas menu and having like some kind of like Christmas pudding dessert or a turkey burger or something Christmassy like that they bring out something completely different, and people who want an alternative to Christmas dinners will turn to McDonald's. Is that their logic, do you think?
Must be.
Or it seems odd to call it the Christmas menu though.
Yeah. Like the last item on it though is the one that has me excited and hoping that it comes to Ireland as well as the UK. They have. Are you ready for this?
I am ready. I'm holding on to the edge of my seat.
This is like the holy grail of McDonald's. It's
Caramel
a double. What?
Caramel sundae.
No, it's a double Big Mac.
Is that not a thing? Is it? Can't you get like a double burger in McDonald's? Isn't it a Big Mac? It's
Big Mac is a double burger, but this is a double Big Mac. It's
a quadruple burger.
It's 4 burgers in one.
Oh my god! Because they also don't they have a? I know this is the Burger King name for it, but don't they have a triple stack burger?
Possibly.
Yeah, It seems like it's only one more burger, but it does make that one more piece of meat though.
Mark, don't take this away from me.
Yeah, don't ruin my Christmas.
Don't ruin Christmas.
So you're not getting a turkey this year, I take it.
No, I just want one of these McDonald's.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah.
I like usually when you hear festive foods and stuff like that, it's kind of like something puked on Christmas. It's generally something that's not really that nice, but it's Christmassy, so they know people are going to try it because it's Christmassy. Like, I think a soft drink made of like Christmas gravy was brought out, where the inventors themselves said it was rank, and it sold pretty well.
Yeah, like, that's just disgusting.
So I would have thought like McDonald's probably like, we have an open goal. We'll call something Christmassy, even if it isn't great. People are gonna like imagine a gravy burger, like a burger that is made of like beef or chicken or even turkey, and but you get this gravy with that you pour on top of the burger. You might eat it like a burger covered in gravy.
That'd be disgusting.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna invent that and sell it to Super Max. the best fast food chain.
No.
Far better burgers. Chips are quite nice as well.
Nah, fuck Supermax.
Wow, there's gonna be people that'll be quite sore with you for saying that. It's also quite funny that a large part of our audience are like, what the fuck is the Super Max?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you will rot in hell for that.
There's other stuff that I'm going there for too. So.
Yeah, so like, might as well add to it. But yeah, that's gonna be weird for McDonald's. See if it bring out their non-Christmas menu.
Yeah, like it seems strange.
It does seem strange. What also seems strange is things that our idiots of the week do, and that's namely what they're on. Idiots of the week. If you're new to the show, this is part of the show where we talk about. We create a segment for idiots, by idiots, and people just talk about people doing dumb things. And we nicknamed it Idiots of the Week. It's a very popular segment. And this week returns a guy who hasn't been on it for some time, and he really has to do dumb things in order to get on it because it'd be too easy to have him on every week. And he might actually be on it for that much longer either. And that is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Now, the reason, you probably guessed why he's on this by now. The reason why he's on it was because he was trying to hold a press conference at the Four Seasons Hotel. And in fairness, it probably wasn't him. I imagine that he doesn't do his own booking, but it was somebody in his team. So one of the Donald Trump team who was like in charge of booking the press conference didn't actually book it at the Four Seasons Hotel like Donald Trump thought when he sent out the tweet. they booked it at Four Seasons landscaping company. Like, we've all been there, first of all. Like, we've all, like, mixed up a date or booked the wrong
How do you
thing.
possibly make that mistake?
Like, I was going to a restaurant before and people have booked it at the wrong restaurant and booked it at the Chinese across the road. Like, I've seen people make mistakes similar to this. When you have things that are similar names, you can possibly make mistakes like that. So we are all human. But
I don't think you can make that mistake when you're booking it for the President of the United States.
yeah, no,
the most
like
protected man in the world.
like I'm saying, but we weren't trying to convince the world that we should arguably be running the most powerful country on the planet. Like, when you were on the team of a person who's trying to be a president of America, those mistakes really shouldn't pass through. Like, I remember I was meant to book flights for a Saturday, ended up booking one on Wednesday, and I really realised on a Friday. That was just to go on a holiday. I wasn't trying to convince the American people that I should be a president of their country.
Which you shouldn't.
No, which I really shouldn't. Like, we've like we said, this is a very human mistake. Yeah, but like there should have been like more oversight on this. This raises so many questions about this story. Just raises so many questions. Like, why didn't anyone else just cancel the press conference? Why didn't anyone else go, no, press conference is cancelled. We'll have it outside of whatever building we're in right now instead.
They probably had everybody shipped off to it. Surely somebody arrived there and went, hang on, this is not the right place.
One thing to make this mistake and book it from wrong place. Is another thing to say, oh, we booked it at the wrong place. Is that somewhere where we shouldn't even really be having a press conference? Let's go ahead with it anyway.
Like, imagine working in the gardening centre.
Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, what is that phone call like? Like, and why at any point of during that call did the person not be like, do you know did a like landscaping company not feel the need to turn around to the person trying to book this and go, okay, but do you realise that we're not the Four Seasons Hotel, that we're a landscaping company?
Yeah,
and they just took their booking as if it's something they do. Like, oh yeah, sure, you can have a press conference outside our landscaping company.
Yeah, like, do you know who you're talking to? Do
you know who we are? Not the Four Seasons Hotel. Like, we face this all the time with companies or podcasts who steal our name and have podcasts with similar names. We get messages off people. We don't pretend to be a podcast that does a history show. We don't pretend to be guys from Donegal. Like, we just say, sorry, you have the wrong place. Find them on some other, like, I don't know, search a little bit harder for whatever their fucking Facebook page is called.
Yeah.
We wouldn't just continue on a conversation about history, go, oh yes, I really thought that was a very unique experience in World War II where we had a group of Irish soldiers. No, we go, sorry, look, I don't know what you're on about. I failed history. Like, find other people. This is not the same podcast. You do not see, like, look down through our feed and just not see anything about history and just have two guys.
Yeah, just see a lot of random stuff about lads like, I don't know, fucking shite in air vents.
Yeah, and like very bad like Photoshop posters to like promote their podcast called the Shite Talk Podcast.
Yeah, definitely a history podcast.
Yeah, we're definitely two guys from Donegal. But yeah, like I can't believe like the landscaping company actually just didn't go turn around and go, we're not the Four Seasons Hotel. And they said, yeah, fuck it, well, you can have a press conference.
Yeah, you have a press conference.
Yeah, you sure thing. We'll make space for you now. We'll close down the business. It's just so you can have a press conference outside our landscaping thing. And then for the person on the other end of the line going, cool, I'll have people send stuff down to you right now. And just like, and then Donald Trump thinks it's 4 seasons. I would love to have been in the room where he's like, he just sent out a tweet and goes, all right, just tweet that's at 11:30 in his Four Seasons hotel. And then the guys goes, oh, no one has told him yet.
Yeah,
like whose job was to tell him? Like, did they go, oh, sorry, sir.
Even like right, going back to like the gardening center, like they would have when they got that phone call. I'm sure the last thing that was said to them on that phone call before they hung up by the person in the White House was the Secret Service will be in touch about security.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you'd be going, what?
Well, no, like they would have gone, hi, I'm such and such from the Donald Trump campaign.
Yeah, well, like maybe they mightn't have said like.
No, they definitely they'd have to say that a member from the Trump campaign is looking to schedule a press event at your idea. Because first of all, Secret Service is going to want every person who's going to be working there, and that's why they probably had to close down the place. Like they probably said, okay, we want you to close down. No member of staff can be on this premises at this time, and our team will take it from here. We'll call you if we need you to open up in terms of like for electricity. Like they there's no way anyone from that store would be allowed anywhere near it because they do background checks. I remember someone talking to when Obama came on one of the talk shows, and they basically went through the list of staff and says, tell him not to come to work tonight. Tell her she can take the night off. And they went through the list of anybody. If you had a speeding fine, if you found with the tiniest amount of weed on you when you're like 14, you were just told, sorry, you're not allowed to go to work. So like I imagine that's why the landscaping place was closed down for the day. But like, yeah, it's amazing that they went along with it. They're like, yeah, cool, yeah, you can have a press conference there, and this didn't feel the need to go, okay, but by the way, we're a landscaping company, we're not the hotel. Just let you know, we're a landscaping company. Ken?
I remember my friend's phone number was one digit different from the Irish Wheelchair Association.
Yeah.
And like he just took to like answering the phone and being like, we're not the Wheelchair Association. That's like how he answered his phone whenever it rang. Oh,
from like a number that he didn't recognize. He's like, I'm not the Wheelchair Association.
Yeah, well, like it was back before there was like caller ID and stuff.
Anytime someone messages going, I really love your podcast, I message back and go, sorry, we're not the history podcast. that's how I respond to people when they say that we really like your show.
Maybe somebody is going, what fucking history podcast?
One day that will happen.
So far, nobody has said that.
Nobody. But yeah, it's funny that it just like, and like people just turn around on, yep, okay, cool, we're now doing it at like a landscaping company. This is happening, and yeah, like it's just a bizarre, and like it is a shame that like this, like I've enjoyed Donald Trump being president of America. I thought it was really entertaining. People give out about it a lot, but like my God, is this going to be going back to boring politics? Like no one's like that anymore. We won't be having people slag off like people in wheelchairs or like say China, and like people making theme songs of it, them saying China, it being like a rave music.
Yeah, I don't know if you really want people slagging off people in wheelchairs.
That is true. Well, unless it's funny.
Yeah, like you don't really want that as a president.
Oh, as a president, it's probably bad. As a comic, maybe. Like if the joke fits.
Yeah,
like the idea of something's humorous is something that's blown out of proportion that has a little bit of truth in it, and that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
So if you can make a joke using that formula about a wheelchair, it's probably funny. Like I'm pretty sure wheelchair people find it funny. It's generally like anytime people are getting offended, they're not in the group that's offended. There's somebody who is offended on their behalf, which is an annoying thing.
Yeah, quite regularly that happens.
Yeah. Now, let's leave that for now. That's just a question for a different day. And talk about a man being shot by a dog.
Yeah, so another contender for idiot of the week. There's so many questions with this fucking story. So this guy, Texas man, he went out and he went to pick up his dog.
Yeah.
Don't know what kind of dog it was, but that's neither here nor there. So he picked up his dog. As he picked up his dog's paw got caught in the trigger of a gun he had in his belt.
Yeah.
And the gun went off and shot him in the leg.
Oh.
This raises so many questions. Like the first question this raised was, why is the gun in his belt and not in a holster?
Yeah, wouldn't you mean? I'd imagine that like he had a holster on his belt.
No. It was tucked inside his trousers.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's too close to your dick.
Yeah.
My liking.
Yeah, so it was tucked inside his trousers, like. Then another question is, why was the safety not on?
Well, I can understand the safety. No, actually, I can't. Actually, especially when it's that close to your dick.
Like, yeah, it's
like we've covered a guy who got shot in the dick. Like,
yeah, and like the local police department then had to like issue a statement on gun safety and go through the steps of gun safety with people when they announced that this happened.
So we want to make clear that folks should not have their gun pointed at their dick. Do not have it in your belt buckle, and to have it on safety. Like that is a freak accident. Like, was the paw obviously got wrapped around the trigger?
Well, it obviously got stuck in the trigger guard, probably. Yeah.
Like you don't. Okay, unless you're a cop or pizza delivery person, you do not have to have a gun on your person. Like you're not. Your life is not in imminent danger unless you're in those two careers.
Like he was okay. Like he shot himself in the thigh. It missed all arteries and stuff, and he actually drove himself to the hospital. But like, what a fool!
Like, always ring an ambulance in that case. Here's the sneaky thing: if you ring, maybe in America you have to pay for the ambulance, but like if you ring an ambulance, you get straight through. Whereas if you drive yourself to an emergency room, you're gonna have to wait with all the other plebs in the emergency room who did other dumb things to them. So ring the ambulance and go straight through.
If you're the kind of guy who has a gun sitting in your waistband of your trousers, like tucked into your trousers, and you shoot yourself, you're probably not the kind of most logical thinking person. So you probably wouldn't think, oh, I better call an ambulance.
Yeah, like, and the ambulance might have been able to treat him then and there. Like, generally they don't go looking for the bullet. They probably just assess if they could stitch it up. He probably needs surgery in order to close the wound properly.
Like, there's a conspiracy theory going around on the internet
about him.
Under the post, yeah. Like people that live in the other gun owners are saying like that they think he shot himself and he just blamed the dog because the logistics of the dog actually being able to, by picking up the dog would have to have a tiny paw, apparently.
Yeah, like I thought you had to apply a substantial amount of pressure on a trigger for it to go off as well.
I don't think it's that great amount of trigger. Like you can have hair triggers.
That's just like asking for trouble in my opinion. I was like,
yeah,
you want to make sure that like when you want to pull that trigger, that it will only go off when you like you really want to press it, not like this like light little tap where it might go off. If like, especially if you have it on your person and you forget to put safety on, and you go over a speed bump a little bit too aggressively, like that thing could go off. You want to like a substantial amount of pressure being put on a trigger.
It's the average gun needs 5 pounds of pressure.
Yeah, that's I call that substantial enough.
Yeah,
that's a pull. That's a proper, like you're putting intent behind that pull.
Yeah, so 3 to 5 pounds.
Yeah, So what? Yeah. So they. But like, how would they have actually like? What do they think he did? What do you think he was like scratching his belly and it went off? Like, what are
Yeah,
there?
probably just like fucking accidentally shot himself, and I was like, "Fuck, I need to come up with a story as to why this happened."
Yeah, we've
Complete
all
idiot.
done dumb things, and I've been like, you had to come up with an idea like why this happened to you. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I fell downstairs.
I fell down the stairs repeatedly and
That's
ended up.
yeah, with a cut on my face. No other injuries.
Everything else is fine.
Everything else is fine. What happened to the countertop over here? I definitely didn't try to grind coffee beans using a drill. That's definitely what didn't happen. I don't know what happened, but that definitely didn't happen. Yeah, but have you ever tried to do something like that before, where you were a little bit embarrassed and you had to come up with an idea?
Nothing that I can think of.
Yeah, no, nothing that bad where you had to go to the emergency room and lie to medical professionals that your dog shot you.
Yeah, nothing as bad as like, basically shooting yourself in the balls.
I think one of the things we can tell our listeners is don't put guns anywhere near your dick and don't have pets. Very, very simple.
Yeah, you can have pets.
They're like kids. Not necessary. Waste of time.
Pets are good.
I think we're going to disagree on that one again. But we've run out of time. We're going to have to leave that for another show. We'll be back next Thursday with another Shite Talk podcast. If you've heard something very, very dumb or an interesting story, send it our way to shitetalkpodcastshow@gmail.com. Message us on social media and tell us how much you love our podcast. And it'd be nice to not get a history podcast for compliment. Also, subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts so you get updates on when the podcast comes fresh off the pen.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave it there.
See you later.
Shut up and sit down.